set up my phone, but this is the big moment in it. Almost the big moment. If my phone will stand up. Mrs. Flood's identity, okay? Like the biggest mystery that's been plaguing Doctor Who for a very long time is probably, not 100%, but I'm fairly certain, almost 100% we can say that within the next 12 hours or so, we're going to find the identity of Mrs. Flood. Like, we're going to know who she is. It's going to be probably confirmed in the Interstellar Song Contest. There's been so much, like the BBC, Russell actually put out like a little video saying, don't get spoilt for tomorrow's episode. So I can guarantee you Mrs. Flood's identity is coming to us very, very soon. And this live stream is going to basically be recapping every single possible theory. So get those theories in. I asked you guys over on my Instagram, so we're going to be going through those as well. Hello, people. Hello, Puppet Access. Hello, Commander Midnight. Hello, Adam. Hello, The Boxed Cat. Hello, Forest 11347. No, 1137. There was no 4. I don't know where I got 4 from. Hello, The Scamp. Hello, Oscar Knox. Hello, Commander Midnight again. Hello, Fleur. Hello, Tribal65. Sorry, the chat's moving quickly. Jeremy Duncan. Thank you very much, Jeremy, for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Shock and horror. She is Mary Whitehouse. You know what? If she was actually revealed to be Mary Whitehouse, or like a parody of Mary Whitehouse, that would be really funny. Like, there's almost no way it's going to happen, but imagine the scenes. She just takes off a mask and... no. I don't know. It would be funny. But thank you very much, Jeremy, for the £2 super chat. Yeah, Jeremy, if for those of you who don't know, wonderfully talented voice actor and actor in general. He voices the Cyberman, the Cyber Leader for the Echo films. But hello, everybody else. To everybody who's just joining, this live stream is... no, don't worry, Diffuse. There haven't been more leaks. Although there are leaks out there, and I will just say, if you've read some of the leaks, 1, they're probably false, and 2, don't go commenting them in the live chat, because tomorrow we're pretty sure we're going to get our Mrs. Flood reveal. It's literally 12 hours to go. If you know who she is via leaks, don't put it in the live chat, please. But yeah, we'll go through. We'll open up some Instagram things. I will be reading your comments, and as ever as well, if you super chat, it pops up on the thing, so I'll 100% read it. Get your Mrs. Flood theories in. Who do you think she is, and why? I'm interested in the and why part. It's not 100% the Scamp that we'll know by tomorrow, but add all the evidence together. Russell, Juno Dawson, everyone who works on the show is going, this is going to be the biggest episode. Russell has said the Interstellar Song Contest contains the biggest spoilers of the entire season. So, look, it's not 100%, but I think it's very, very likely that it's Mrs. Flood. Anyway, let me find all of the Instagram things. We got a lot of responses on Instagram, so I'm not going to be able to read every single one, but I really appreciate it. If you want to get involved in more of this sort of stuff, you can find my Instagram, confused_adipose. But we'll just start off here with Doctor Who _is the life says, she is Missy. No. I think I can see why people think she's the Master, and I wouldn't be surprised if she was working with the Master. I mean, the Master was set up with the golden tooth thing, but this is why I think Mrs. Flood's hand was probably the one that picked up the Master. It's too coincidental to not be. Do you know what I mean? I could see it being Mrs. Flood, especially because it's almost like a homage to the original Master stuff with John Sim, where that mysterious hand picks up the tooth, and everyone at the time was theorising, oh, it's the Rani that picked up the Master in 2007. It was his ring rather than a tooth back then. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mrs. Flood has a connection with the Master, picks up that tooth for a reason. But yeah, there's no guarantee. Hello, John Campbell Rees. Matt Pascal says, Ruby White from the Sarah Jane Adventures. Someone remind me in the live chat. I feel like a fake fan. Which one's Ruby White? Is it the woman... it's not the woman that replaces Sarah Jane, is it? The name rings a bell. Is it the one where the actress is in The Timeless Children? That character. I need to rewatch some of the Sarah Jane Adventures. Someone in the live chat will let me know in a second, I hope. Ruby White from Sarah Jane. Which character is that? While we wait for that answer, Luke Wren 4414 suggested she's Hecuba. So Hecuba, I think, is the sister of the Toymaker. And she's some sort of god as well. Or the Rani or Rassilon. The Rani and Rassilon are two really strong options there. I think Hecuba might be too obscure, but then again, we had Beep the Meep adapted. We've just had a $10 super chat from Puppet Access. Thank you very much, really appreciate that. Let me just, there we go. I care less about who Mrs. Flood is, yet I'm willing to bet real money that the Doctor will be in the live Eurovision. We'll see it in Doctor Who first, then the real Eurovision. Real BBC timey-wimey stuff. Yeah, I think that may have been the plan, but it has been said today that Ncuti is no longer going to be at the actual Eurovision Song Contest, unless it's a giant double bluff, but I think it's probably accurate, because he was going to be the United Kingdom spokesperson, I think. He's not like singing at Eurovision, but they've replaced him with Sophie Ellis-Bextor. Rather, well, not replaced, but they say due to unforeseen circumstances, Ncuti can't be there. So I could, yeah, I do agree though. I think that might have been the plan, because that would also be the best promotion ever. Like, imagine Ncuti goes on in character as the Doctor. But yeah, I see that as well if you don't particularly care about who Mrs. Flood is. I think it's a mystery that Doctor Who has done time and time again. So I kind of get why some people are like... I mean, we literally had it last season with Susan Twist, who's back, by the way, for episodes 7 and 8, which is just a fun detail. Doesn't mean anything in particular that we know of, unless maybe they're expanding on the Susan Twist story. Do you reckon they are? What are you guys thinking about that? Unforeseen circumstances could be part of the plot. Yeah, perhaps. We've got another super chat here from Thanos. Oh, sorry if I butcher the surname. Thanos Kirakildis? Thanos Kirakildis. Correct me on the pronunciation if I've got it wrong, but really appreciate the super chat, thank you very much, who says, my favourite theory of who Mrs. Flood is my Tri-Doctor regeneration. If true, that story would be epic. Yeah, I'll run through that theory quickly here, because that would be so cool, genuinely. Like, if Mrs. Flood, right, here's the theory for those of you who don't know. Mrs. Flood, when the bi-generation happened, we'll go back to the beginning. When the bi-generation happened, the Doctor's energy, like, he basically went through therapy, he healed. What if all the negative parts of the Doctor got cast away and it was actually a tri-generation rather than a bi-generation, leading to the creation of the Valeyard, who is said to be somewhere between the Doctor's 12th and final incarnation? What if Mrs. Flood is the origin of the Valeyard? She's all of the evil parts of the Doctor bi-generated out of him because of the therapy, which is why 15 can go off and enjoy life, and you create this evil Valeyard Mrs. Flood Doctor who's gained a load of knowledge, breaks the fourth wall, and is after our Doctor for the same sort of reason as in Trial of a Time Lord. I think that would be quite a neat theory. I don't know how plausible it is, but yeah, I agree. It would be so cool if that actually happened. We'll get back to reading a couple of the Instagram theories over here. Ben Saunders 56 says Rani, not the Rani, but Rani, as in Rani Chandra. I suppose you've got the Chandra connection. You've got Belinda Chandra, Rani Chandra. Imagine that was the reveal. That would just be absolutely insane. It's not going to be, of course. I mean, who's to say? There's a 0.5% chance it could be, but no. It's a fun suggestion though. Jeevan Jono suggests she's Mr. Ring-a-Ding in disguise. No, but she will. I reckon there's a really strong chance she's part of the Pantheon or something along those lines. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know exactly why or how, but yeah, part of the Pantheon. Yeah, because she can break the fourth wall. Who else can break the fourth wall? Maestro. And the Toymaker kind of-ish, I imagine. So yeah, I think she's definitely part of the Pantheon, but I don't think she is Mr. Ring-a-Ding in disguise. What other one? There's so many joke comments, which are actually quite funny, but I'll try and I'll find a serious one. She wants to. Here's an interesting theory from over on Instagram. She wants to use the Doctor to create new Time Lords via the Space Babies. Now, initially, that sounds absolutely crazy, but we literally had Captain Poppy, the Space Baby, who I guess is now a space toddler, in last week's episode. She showed up with basically no logic. Like, we have no idea why, but Captain Poppy showed up. So Anita Dobson also said at a Comic-Con, she was like, I was baffled as to Space Babies as a story until I read the finale scripts, then it all clicked into place and it all made sense. I think that's a very strong shout. If Mrs. Flood somehow engineered or created the Space Babies or is using the Space Babies to create new Time Lords, or maybe there's some sort of ripple back and those are the Time Lord's origins. There's all this talk as well about the Doctor being not a timeless child. The Doctor is the timeless child. The Doctor being a space baby. How would people react to that? Can we get so in the live chat? What do you guys think if the Doctor's revealed to be a space baby? Would you get mad? I think that would probably break Doctor Who fandom as we know it. Someone's changed their YouTube name to the Confused Adipose fan. I miss Captain Poppy regenerated. Oh, thank you, Confused Adipose fan. I'm glad. You are Anita Dobson, says Has Jazz. Am I? Maybe I am. Scene G99 has suggested the meddling monk. Monks worship gods. That's cool. I'd never clocked that connection, but yeah, you've got this era of Doctor Who about gods, about a pantheon. Who's to say that, yeah, it could work. It could work. What else have we got going on here? Right, we'll look at some of the Instagram ones. I'm trying to find non-jokey ones. We've got here's Kybert Productions says she's an ood, and then has written Mrs. FL Ood. No, is it? Kybert Productions has also made a very valid point. She's only important because we think she's important, which was probably the most debated amongst controversial line of last season's finale with the Ruby's mum reveal. That's the one thing I do hope. I hope it is more impactful than the Ruby's mum reveal. We have a super chat though from Andy App. Thank you very much, Andy App, for the £2 super chat. Really appreciate it. They say, could she be connected to the Doctor's true origin? Yes, Andy, I think that is a very, very likely thing. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know whether birth mother or some sort of motherly figure to the Doctor, but I think I could see her being along those lines, especially because Shooty said they're going to be exploring Gallifreyan mythology. Russell said, and he's very clearly continuing with this whole Timeless Child plotline, Timeless Child idea. I absolutely could see Mrs. Flood tying into the Doctor's true origin. That would just be, yeah, it would be cool. I hope, though, if they do go down that route, I don't want them to remove the mystery of Doctor Who. The show is still, the main character's got to be a mystery. It's Doctor Who. We don't want to know everything about the Doctor. But, you know, having the Doctor's mother or someone show up without spoiling too much could be quite cool. Somebody asked a second ago, I don't know where the comment's gone, but they asked if I got my ice cream from the last stream, and I did indeed. I also tried, thanks to the last live stream, because someone donated, I had a pineapple pizza the other day, and I'm afraid my thoughts haven't changed much. It's still not to my taste. It wasn't as bad as I thought, though. So whoever it was that donated to see me try pineapple on pizza, I appreciate you. Thank you. I'll try it again one time. I'll try it in a video. That's what the world needs right now. Someone's spamming hello Tom Haynes. Please don't spam the chat. Let's not spam the chat. Thank you. Black Phoenix 77 says pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. I agree. Let's get back to Mrs. Flood. Harry Downey suggests she is some weird old crone with a few issues. Perhaps. I mean, we've already had the suggestion of she's important because we think she's important. Maybe she is. That could be quite a disappointing reveal. She's got to be someone, though. I guarantee you, she's got. And I think it's almost certain as well she's got to be like a returning character, because you wouldn't build it up this much. It's one of two things: either like a returning character, or a character who is intrinsically tied to the Doctor and their origin. Like a minute ago, someone suggested like tied to the Doctor's mother, perhaps, or one of the Doctor's family members. A lot of people are suggesting Susan as well. Shout out to the people in the chat suggesting Susan. Yeah, as I say, a family connection to the Doctor would work really well both for a fan audience and for a general audience, because you wouldn't need to know the lore. All the general audience would need to clock is, oh, that's the Doctor's mother, or the Doctor's adopted mother, like Tek Taeyoon as well. Something along those lines. That could work. Yeah, Ghost Boom ASMR says, no way, it's Susan. Yeah, it's probably not Susan. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Susan somehow ties in with all this, because she's like, you know what, like Susan was emphasised over and over and over again in the last season, and you had the Susan Triad stuff. So I do think it's a possibility she's Susan. Right, looking at the Instagram responses as well. Once again, guys, if you do want to get involved with this sort of stuff, you can head to my Instagram page. On my Instagram story, there was a question thing. I think it might have expired now, but if you want to be there for next time and you want to just see updates on the channel, you can check out confused_adipose on Instagram. Kyle suggests Mrs. Flood is Skongo. No, but maybe. I think Skongo needs to be canonised into Doctor Who. I have not spent this many years of people saying you look like Skongo for Skongo not to make it into actual Doctor Who. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. Rory Stock suggests Mrs. Flood was inside us all along. Yeah, maybe Mrs. Flood is simply the friends we made along the way. Perhaps. She's Spartacus, says someone in the live chat. No, I'm Spartacus. People are asking in the chat who Skongo is. To catch you up, there's I don't even know how it started. It was like a Facebook group, I think. Joe Brennan, you might know him, YouTuber. It's like, I think it was a Facebook group that he ran, but there was this weird photoshopped picture of like a guy that vaguely resembles me. It had nothing to do with me. The guy just vaguely resembled me. And they started photoshopping him into loads of Doctor Who episodes to like trick people out, like, oh, you didn't know Skongo was in Doctor Who? He's the Doctor's oldest enemy. It sort of snowballed from there. But people always comment, at least one comment every video saying, you look like Skongo. And it's been going on for 4 years now, which is quite funny. Mrs. Flood is the Vlinks, suggests BC. Perhaps she is. What else have we got? She's Frobisher, says Sly Gorilla 42. Frobisher, the talking penguin companion. Maybe. Why not? Right. We'll come. Let's find another good serious theory. She's Anita Dobson. At the end of the season, she says, "It's me. I'm Anita Dobson." I said we were going to find a serious theory, but thank you, the Lush Box. I mean, they are breaking the fourth wall a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a reference to like. What's her character's name from EastEnders? Is it Angie? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. We have a super chat here from Jasmine Gage. Thank you very much, Jasmine, for the £4.99 super chat. Jasmine says, the chat is running away. There we go. Jasmine says, I'm with you that I don't care as much about who she is as how they go about it. They can't just say, I'm this person. The Valiard would be interesting, though. 100%, Jasmine. I mean, it is entirely based on execution. The only character I think would be just silly if it was them would be the Master. Because how many times have we had a Master reveal? Do you know what like, we don't need it every single Doctor's tenure. Like, the Master, don't get me wrong, I love the Master as a character, but I just can't see a world in which Mrs. Flood is the Master. But apart from the Master, similar to Jasmine here, I could kind of be happy with her being anyone, as long as it fits the story and she's threatening without having to just be like, oh, flashbacks. Because I think it was somewhat the downfall of Sutek in last season, was rather than kind of introducing him as a new character, like, they didn't focus much on the whole he's the god of death thing. They sort of touched on it and then went, you should be scared of him because here's Pyramids of Mars on an iPad, which I understand and from a fan perspective is cool, but if you're trying to keep a general audience engaged, like my parents when they watched it probably felt a little bit like, Who is this Sutek guy? Do you know what? Whereas the 2005 revival, you just introduced Daleks as their own threat. You know the Doctor's faced them before, but you see and you feel the threat. Cybermen the same, the Master the same. So, yeah, whoever Mrs. Flood is, I just hope that the reveal is done in a way that fits the story and doesn't feel too bonkers or too silly. What else have we got going on here? As I say as well, just a quick reminder, I've got Instagram comments up here. Feel free to repeat a comment once or twice in the chat, but please don't spam. Thomas Haynes, please stop spamming the chat. Thank you. Yeah, so feel free, if I haven't read your comment, if you super chat it, it will flash up on my screen and I'll see it, but there's no obligation. I'll try and get round most people's theories. But yeah, if I've missed it, feel free to comment again. Let's take a quick look back at the Instagram theories. I think we touched on it a minute ago, but someone has suggested here that she might be the meddling monk. I'd be so on board for that. Mrs. Flood as the meddling monk. Yeah, I don't know how possible it is, but to be fair, if we look at her motivation throughout the whole season, it's kind of just been meddling. She's just been like popping up and being silly. So like, who's to say she isn't? And I do think she's a Time Lord because once again they're going quite hard on the like, the Doctor's the last of his kind. I'm the Doctor. I'm the last Time Lord. Like it's in all the trailers and stuff. And the last time they did that back in 2007 when they really emphasised it is when the Doctor was about to meet the Master because he's not the last of his kind. We'll talk more as well on the theory of her being Rassilon. If we remember back to Hellbent, the Doctor kicks Rassilon off Gallifrey, so Rassilon presumably would have survived the Master's destruction of Gallifrey, so Rassilon could still be out there and kicking, and he'd probably want revenge on the Doctor, so let's say Rassilon regenerates into Anita Dobson, well, into Mrs. Flood, then comes for vengeance. That could be quite a cool storyline, although I don't see someone as high and mighty as Rassilon, like cosplaying an old woman. Do you know what I mean? Like Timothy Dalton's Rassilon, and I can't remember his name, but the guy who played him in Hellbent, the one that's in Game of Thrones, like they're quite like powerful, noble people. I don't know whether he'd Rassilon. Do you know what I mean? Would he go undercover as Mrs. Flood? Probably not. We have a £5 super chat from CRUX or Crux or Crew X. Which is it? Let me know. Thank you very much for the super chat though. I really appreciate that. Bro has been meddling. Bro has been meddling indeed. Mrs. Flood's meddling. It's getting out of hand. You know what? I've kind of half convinced myself now she's the meddling monk. Like, why not? You know? Has anyone else got theories on who she could be? On why she could be the meddling monk? Because I think meddling monk, the Susan Triad was really giving the meddling monk vibes last season. Because when I remember the whole theory on like, there's the change from gravity to mavity, and that was just a fun bit of meddling from the monk. Could work. Could work. Right, we'll go right to the top here. Tia Coffee suggests she's Ryland's next regeneration. You know what? Sure. I'm here for it. Why not? Mrs. Flood is in fact Ryland's next regeneration. Imagine, right, tomorrow's episode, Interstellar Song Contest, Ryland gets shot and just regenerates into Mrs. Flood. Speechless. Shock. No, the world would never be the same again. Max C. Stanton suggests she's setting up the Gods of Ragnarok / Underverse / the Land of Fiction. Yeah, I think the Gods of Ragnarok theory is another really solid one as well, for those of you who aren't in the know. I mean, there's loads of ways to take it, but the Gods of Ragnarok are the villains from the 7th Doctor's era in The Greatest Show in the Galaxy, which, by the way, the BBC keeps sort of referring to Interstellar Song Contest as, I think they've literally at one point said Greatest Show in the Galaxy. They put like the best show in the galaxy, the something show in the galaxy. Is it going to be kind of a spiritual successor or a like a direct sequel to Greatest Show in the Galaxy? Because like all these, not Eurovision, Interstellar Song Contest contestants have to perform for the gods of Ragnarok to appease them. If they don't perform well, they die. You've also got all the meta angle of the show being cancelled and all of that jazz. So I don't know, I could see that happening, and I would really enjoy that. I don't know who Mrs. Flood would be in this world, but Gods of Ragnarok, there's also people that suggest the 3 fans in Lux are the Gods of Ragnarok, and they're like, yeah, they decide the Doctor's fate. And the whole show has been moving towards a very, like, meta direction. So I could absolutely see that happening. Jeremy Duncan has said, what if she's something new and by the end of the season we don't know exactly who she is? Mrs. Flood is Mrs. Flood. Yeah, I mean, it is always a possibility she's just something or a new villain completely, which, as long as it's executed well, I genuinely, like, I've already said it, but, like, as long as it's not the Master, I genuinely don't mind who she is. I just hope that it's executed well. Like, I want real tense scenes. I want shocks. I want thrills. Whether she's a returning character, or even, as Jeremy said here, a new character, I'm on board for it. I just want it to be written well. That's all that matters at the moment. We have a super chat from Chazo Boy. Thank you very much for the super chat, Chazo Boy. Season 3 is a go. TV Zone UK. Is that official now, or is it still speculated? Let's have a look. It could, if it is official, that's really funny that I've just found this out on a live stream. Oh, it might be official. Hang on. Has Doctor Who just been recommissioned and I've just found out on a live stream? TV Zone say, new Doctor Who will continue for further series on BBC One, with work underway on scripts for future series, irrespective of Disney's decision on the partnership with the BBC. Okay, there we go. Apparently that's confirmed. Chat, is this correct? What are people saying in the chat? It's speculation from the Mirror. I don't believe it. We haven't had a comment from the Beeb. Okay, it's 50-50, I think, but that's sounding very promising. Let's actually read this article. This is really weird. I'm doing like a news video live. I've never done this before. So, TV Zone say Doctor Who will continue with further series on BBC One, irrespective of the Disney decision. After months of rumour and speculation, it has been revealed that Doctor Who will continue on BBC One for further series beyond this year, but fans may have to wait till 2027. I mean, we'll survive, but it's a shame there's a gap here. The Mirror reports that the series will return to BBC One for future series, with Russell T Davies already working on scripts for an additional 2 series, irrespective of whether Disney decide to continue their partnership with the BBC beyond this series. They've used series there about 300 times. Let's just quickly flash back to the chat. What's everyone saying? We've waited longer before. Yeah, that's true. Can you stay live till 8 AM tomorrow? No. I'll be a new man by then. I suppose it's not too long away. I suppose it's only like a year break. And they could put the War Between the Land and the Sea next year to like smooth over the gap. Yeah, people are saying there's no other. I think, yeah, it's not 100% confirmed, but it's it's from TV Zone, like it's reliable. We'll carry on reading the article. The Mirror reports that the series will return to BBC One. Have I already read that? Probably. Hang on. For an additional 2 series. Yes, I have read that. A source said to the Mirror, whether or not Disney stays, the expectation is that the show will continue. Yes, there will be a gap while the scripts are finalised, the episodes are filmed, and the editing process takes place, but we'll be back. That's pretty cool. A source added to the newspaper, when Doctor Who began its partnership with Disney+, there was an additional funding put in place. Doctor Who is an expensive show to make, with its effects budget taking up a significant part of the overall spend. So, if Disney were to withdraw its funding, then there wouldn't be as significant an impact on production as some fans may think. The TARDIS is still standing, well, the TARDIS set is still standing in Cardiff, all ready to go on new adventures. Then the article just talks about a load of stuff. How are people reacting to that? That's kind of mad. What are people saying in the chat? Where are we? Here we are. Here's a good front runner, the confused Adipose. What are we talking about? Mrs. Flood is Omega, says Jake Clark. We'll come back to Mrs. Flood in a moment. I don't think she's Omega. How would that work? I mean, it would be cool. Look, I've said for years, I want to see Omega come back. That's the main... If there had to be a single character to return to Doctor Who, it would be Omega. That would be so cool. Dan BYT official says 2027. Why do I do for a whole year? What do I do for a whole year? I know, it's a shame. But if Doctor Who is back, that'll be pretty cool. What am I reading here? You'll be Daddy Adipose by 2027. What's going on in the live chat? Please let Shooty have a third season. Yeah, I really hope Shooty has a third season. I can't lie. There's obviously all the speculation, theories, rumours, whatever. But I suppose it always happens, people suggesting he's going to regenerate. I did read a leak the other day. A leak about Shooty not regenerating and all that being a hoax from the Sun yesterday. But yeah, the truth of the matter is we just don't know. Like, at the moment, we have no idea. We'll have to wait and see. Melody says, Disney are so stupid. Council of Geeks pointed out how they should have bought the whole new Who catalogue. Yeah, I haven't finished the Council of Geeks video, but from what I've seen, I 100% agree with their point. If Disney had the back catalogue of Doctor Who, it would be so much more successful. Because the main thing... like that was making Disney apprehensive was people joining Disney Plus but leaving after episodes, like after the episodes had aired. They weren't sticking around for Disney Plus. But I guarantee you, if the backlog was there, then people would stay. People would watch. People are suggesting they don't believe it. Oh, we've got another super chat from Chazo Boy. Thank you very much again, Chazo Boy. Really appreciate it. Doctor Who streamer got the live scoop. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, that is literally the first time I've ever had complete news just out on a live stream, which is pretty exciting, pretty fun. We don't know as well though 100% whether it's happening or not. I hope it is. I do believe though there's no way they're gonna cancel Doctor Who forever. Like, yeah, it's going to carry on, whether Disney or not. I think the articles, I believe it. We don't know 100%, but I believe it. Lily Shambles says, perhaps Disney should make decent stuff to make folks stay. I will not comment, but I will say some of their Marvel and Star Wars shows are terrible. Although, Andor, that's supposed to be really good. I still haven't properly seen it. I've watched the first couple of episodes. No spoilers. Someone in chat is going to just spoil Andor now, but no. I'm excited to watch Andor. Right, going back to a couple of Mrs. Flood theories that you guys sent over to the Confused Adipose Instagram page. Once again, we're going to give it a little shout out. If you want to go and get involved in these question time things, and every week we read your questions from the Instagram as well on the podcast. So go and check out confused_adipose on Instagram. Dodman.GraceN suggests flood equals water. What hates water? Fire. That's right. Mrs. Flood is one of the fire creatures from Pompeii. Look, there's been more convoluted things happen in Doctor Who history. Why not? Why not? Shout out to Fires of Pompeii, which is actually a banger of a Doctor Who story. We have a super chat here again from Thanos Kurt. I'm so sorry. Every time I come to read the name, I'll inevitably get it wrong. But Thanos Kurikadius. Shout out to Thanos. Thank you very much for the super chat, by the way. They say, in your opinion, does not knowing about the status of next season add to the intrigue of who Mrs. Flood is, as well as who the Unholy Alliance is? Yeah, in a way, it's kind of cool to have the jeopardy of we genuinely don't know anything. The show may be cancelled. We may get a new Doctor. We may not get a new Doctor. We literally have no idea where this is going. And the fact that we're going to be able to watch the final episode in cinemas, and in a way it's nice that Disney didn't recommission immediately, because we've had this sort of grace period of no spoilers. Like, they'd have already shot season 3 if Disney immediately recommissioned, meaning we'd know whether, like, Belinda dies, or Ruby dies, or the Doctor regenerates, or whether this happens. We literally don't know about the finale. Obviously, there's suggested leaks. There's a supposed dialogue leak as well, which people keep talking about, and look, I've heard from a relatively reliable source that the dialogue leak is completely fake. So everyone talking about the dialogue leak, don't think it's real. I could be wrong, but I just don't think it is. We've got 2 super chats to catch up on. Thank you, everybody. Jasmine Gage says, "Didn't you have a theory involving Cherry Sunday?" I did, Jasmine. I did, and I think it's the best theory that anybody has ever come up with. But I'll give you a quick recap. Right, Cherry Sunday. Why on earth has she never said to Carla or Ruby that when the world was ending and things were falling to dust, Mrs. Flood stood, basically said a prophecy, was like, "He waits no more," sat on the bed, called her like a tiny little human or whatever, said she's going to storm down the gates of hell and all of it. How did Cherry Sunday never just go, there's something off about Mrs. Flood? It's because they are the black and white guardians, the guardians of chaos from classic Who, right? You've got one fighting for good, Cherry Sunday. Cherry Sunday is out there fighting for the good of the world, and Mrs. Flood is the evil one, and they're gonna battle. I mean, it's probably not gonna happen, but how fun would that be? Matty, thank you very much, Matty, for the $1.99 super chat. Really appreciate that. Matty says, "Did you see the Mr. Flood anagram?" I did not see the Mr. Flood. I mean, we're all talking about Mrs. Flood. Who's Mr. Flood? She's married. Who is Mr. Flood? No, please do tell me, Matty, what is the Mr. Flood anagram? We've got a very generous super chat here from Hollow Choice. Thank you very much, Hollow Choice. You're helping to keep the streams running. Really appreciate it. Hollow Choice says, "More theory lore to the Rani theory. She's the creator of the Pantheon / the Space Babies. Wild Blue Yonder ship was her experiment base, pilot looked just like Sutek, where she made the gods." That would be so cool. I've not heard that suggested by anyone else, but I'm not gonna lie, it would make so much sense as well. If she is like the Rani, right, and as you say, she's the reason that the Pantheon and all that, like she helped Sutek evolve into a god, it would kind of... I don't know whether my sound disappeared there. Artie, if you're watching, why are you determined to phone me every time I do a live stream? Every time. But no, I think that's a really solid theory, especially with the Space Babies, because that ties in the Space Babies, it ties in the god, and it ties in, obviously we were talking about anagrams a minute ago. Rain, what causes a flood? Rain. Rain is an anagram of Rani. I don't think, yeah, look, I think it's a really, yeah, it's a solid, you know what? I hope that happens. If that's revealed tomorrow that the Rani engineered all these gods, I'd be so on board. Doctor Who's magical... your name's cut off by, I'm guessing entertainment. Maybe I'm wrong. Doctor Who's Magical Entertainment has come in with another generous super chat. Thank you very much. They say, "Mrs. Flood is a Slitheen. Been waiting to get revenge on the Doctor for what he did to them in 2005. Why not? I really want to see the Slitheen back. They'd be so good in Doctor Who. Especially, like, I'm sorry, like, I feel like it should have happened in the Jodie Whittaker era. When we had Boris Johnson as Prime Minister in the UK and Donald Trump, well, I mean, Trump's back as president, but they are literally like Slitheen. You could have done, like, Jack Robertson in Revolution of the Daleks. He could have been a Slitheen. Like, fun commentary. Yeah. I don't think Mrs. Flood is a Slitheen, I will say, but I would love to see the Slitheen back. So thank you very much for the super chat. I hate to repost, but Mr. Flood has 2 anagrams, Lords of Time and First Loomed. Is that correct? Yeah, it is. Ooh, could we be onto something here? If Russell's trying to throw us off with a Mrs. Flood anagram and it's Mr. Flood, I like it. I like it. This has grounds to stand on. This is pretty cool. Yeah, I like this. These are a bunch. I've heard so many theories about Mrs. Flood, and we're getting some completely fresh new ones, like the night before the reveal's bound to happen. That's pretty exciting. There's no chance there's Mr. Flood. Oh, I think there is. You know, maybe we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. Who would Mr. Flood be though? Would it be a returning character, or I don't know. I'm intrigued. It's got me thinking. Let's have a look at some of the Instagram comments. Right. Harper of Harps suggests, I think she's a writer or exec at the BBC and enters the show to rewrite it. That would be really cool, and that would completely and utterly fit within this narrative of fourth wall breaking and bonkers direction. Like Russell said, I can't remember the exact quote, but when talking about the Interstellar Song Contest, he's basically said it's going to rewrite Doctor Who history forever, it's going to blow people's minds, it's going to be absolutely bonkers. And if we fully break the fourth wall, like this theory from Harper of Harps suggests, that could be really, really cool. Oh, what else have we got? I'm going to have a quick drink. The Unholy Trinity is her, Missy, and Sacha Darwin's master, all three of them being the master. That's from M_M52 over on Instagram. Perhaps, but no. I can't see Mrs. Flood being the master. I think it's too predictable. We've had one too many master reveals in Doctor Who. You know, we all love a good Doctor Who master reveal, but there's just no way. Just no way. Tex Master Blasts over on Instagram suggests she's one of the Sisterhood of Khan. Perhaps. I don't quite see how that would tie in, but look, she could be anyone at this point. Maybe. Bored God Almighty suggests she'll cause Shooty's doctor to realise their whole life has been a TV show and wake up as Joe Martin. Yeah, I think that this ties into what we were talking about a second ago with the whole TV show theory and TV show idea. I really could see it happening, you know, like Devil's Cord especially seemed to be like testing the groundwork for how much Doctor Who in this era is going to break the fourth wall. Like the Doctor says, oh, I thought that music was non-diegetic, which, like, or diegetic, I can't remember which. He, like, the choice, do you know what I mean? And Maestro winking into the camera, Mrs. Flood saying never seen a TARDIS before. They are very, very, very much heading towards this meta idea. So I could see it happening. Someone has suggested, Matthew Crook 151 has said, she could be a harbinger for one of the gods in the finale. Yeah, I could see that happening. Mrs. Flood could be some form of harbinger for a higher power, higher god. What god this could be? We've had Sutekh. The gods of Ragnarok we talked about earlier. What are the gods? Oh, obviously Omega isn't really a god, and we did briefly touch on him earlier, but if she was like Omega's harbinger, that could be quite cool. I could see it happening. I could see her being a harbinger, but I feel also she's got more importance. Unless she's like a harbinger who gained sentience, like a harbinger that's fighting against their god, trying to get back at their god, in a similar motivation to the barber from last week's episode. They're like, let's say Mrs. Flood's a harbinger. She was aware she's a harbinger, and she wants to stop her god that she's harbinging. That could be quite a cool story to go down. Let's have a look at the live chat over on YouTube. Let's catch up. Is the confused Adipose Lux's harbinger? Yeah, sure, why not? Charles Dickens the third, maybe it's the real Charles Dickens, says stop spamming to someone. Yeah, please don't spam the chat, whoever's spamming. Feel free to repeat a comment if I have missed it, but just don't spam the chat. Because obviously, as I say, super chats are the best way because they pop up bright colours on my screen, but there's no obligation, and I am trying to read as many comments as possible. Liam says, it turns out Mrs. Flood just got her name off a street sign. No, Doctor Who would never do that. They'd never have a character just go, oh, I was named after a road. How is that an actual line in Doctor Who as well? I've always found that funny. I was named after a road. I mean, it's just out of context. And that episode as well has the, have you ever dreamt of being an ambulance? There's so many good out of context Doctor Who quotes. Let me know in chat what your favourite out of context Doctor Who quote is. Kate Ricks says, Doctor Who, The War Between the Land and the Sea teaser trailer. I think we'll get a teaser trailer for The War Between the Land and the Sea after the reality war. I could see that happening. I reckon if what we read out earlier, that news article, is actually accurate and Doctor Who has been renewed for season 3, I reckon as soon as the reality war's done, we'll get a quick like bam 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 20-second teaser trailer for War Between the Land and the Sea, and then they'll say the Doctor will return. Something along those lines, which would be quite cool. Jeremy Duncan says, Sutekh wasn't a god, yet he became one over time. Omega could definitely develop into one with his overexposure to antimatter. 100% as well. I mean, Omega is like, the whole thing's his willpower. He can will himself back. If he wills himself into being a god. Also, I swear in the Three Doctors, Omega literally has a line where he says, like, I'm a god, or I could have been a god, or something. So a classic Who fan, please tell me the exact line somewhere in the live chat. But I swear Omega shouts like, I could have been a god in the Three Doctors. The War Between the Land and the Sea will focus on UNIT. Yeah, I think from what we've heard, the War Between the Land and the Sea isn't going to have the Doctor in at all, especially if these rumours of a possible 16th Doctor and Ncuti leaving are true. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, Matty, thank you very much. They say, I should have been a god. That's Omega's line. I should have been a god. Yeah, I think I could see it. You know what? Yeah, Omega needs to come back. Whether it's this season, next season, whenever. I just don't want him to return in a K9 spin-off movie, which was actually a plan at one point. But oh, he should come back. Arc Trooper Bricks says, think Mrs. Flood is the Rani and is going to try and summon the 3 founders of Gallifrey, Omega, Rassilon, and the other. Yeah, I could see it happening. I think, though, Mrs. Flood will probably be one of the unholy trinity, so perhaps she's the other. I mean, the good thing with that would be the other is kind of a blank slate of a character. It's still a name drop reveal to Doctor Who fans, and obviously they've been explored in expanded media, but you could have Mrs. Flood revealed to be this mysterious other who wants to rebirth Gallifrey for some reason, possibly using the Space Babies. We've talked about the Space Babies enough on this live stream, but who knows? Daniel suggests Mrs. Flood could be the Dream Lord. They're quite similar in many ways. Yeah, I suppose. What if the Doctor's in I suppose it sounds cliched, but has been in a dream this whole time? Like the new Disney Plus era. All the fourth wall breaking could be someone trying to get to the Doctor in a dream to wake them up. That could be quite a cool idea to take this. We'll have a quick look over on Instagram. A couple more of the theories. Temporal Sun says the Doctor Donna as mistress of the land of fiction. So the land of fiction. Yeah, I mean we've had this underworld mentioned in the what was it with the plot synopsis for the is it the Reality War or Wish World? I think the Reality War. They've mentioned the underworld is rising, and someone correctly told me that. In the Giggle, I think the 15th Doctor says the underworld is like the Toymaker's realm where he was trapped or something, and in the first Doctor's era when the TARDIS falls into the Toymaker's realm, that is the underworld. So I think, yeah, I could see it definitely tying in. I suppose if that idea of like the underworld is coming into the universe or colliding with the universe or whatever, it very much could be a case of like all of the gods come back. I mean, if we've got the Space Babies back, why not have... I mean, Lux is the only one who's sort of dead, but Maestro could come back. The Toymaker could come back. I suppose the Toymaker's banished under salt. But if UNIT get attacked or something, you could have, like, all gods coming back. And that's how the Doctor has to, like, sacrifice himself to stop it or something along those lines. Is it Underworld? It might be Underverse. Underverse, that's what they've said. I think those are the words... Is it someone tell me in chat? It's Underverse, right? Charles Dickens III says Rylan is an anagram for Rani if you swap out like 99% of the letters. That's very true. No coincidence there at all. Just change all the letters and you get an anagram that fits it perfectly. Right, I think we're going to bring this live stream not to a close immediately, but get your final theories in. We'll have like 10, 20 more minutes, I'd say. 15, set off 50, 10 minutes, 10 minutes and counting. No, I don't know. We'll start bringing it to a close, though. So I'm going to go through a couple more of these. If you want your chats to be read, if you've got any burning theories, please super chat them so I can... Are they going to watch Underworld on an iPad? Hopefully not. Yeah, super chat them. They'll pop up and I'll definitely read them. We'll come to a couple of the Instagram theories here. Someone always comments this, right? I don't get it. We read it out on the podcast last week. Every time I ask a question on Instagram, they put Keanu Reeves in there somehow, but apparently Vincent 2012 thinks Keanu Reeves is going to be there and sing. He's going to sing "I'm Feeling the Music." I don't know, okay, but I don't think Keanu Reeves is going to be in the Interstellar Song Contest, okay. And I'm not qualified to say, but why would Keanu Reeves be there? What's Vincent's obsession with Keanu Reeves? Perhaps we'll never know. Liam Christopher Brown says, Flood is an anagram like Yana. Yeah, I think, there's not really, Mrs. Flood. What anagrams are there of Flood? Are there any anagrams of Flood? Someone put it in the chat, I'll have a quick look. Can anybody see Keanu equals sad doctor? Can anybody see, I don't think there's any anagrams. People would have worked it out. We've got Rain and Rani. That's the only seeable anagram with Mrs. Flood. We've just had some news from Doctor Who. I've just got a notification on my phone. Let's have a look on here. Is this the confirmation of a season 3 recommission? Maybe. No. Stefan Powell takes a trip through the time vortex in a special episode of Doctor Who Unleashed, celebrating 20 years since #Doctor Who returned. And there's David Tennant and Billy Piper in a little picture thing. You guys could go to... Why are we getting so much news dropping live on stream? I'll probably make like a catch-up video of this tomorrow or something, because there's a bunch of little stories coming out. Let's just have a quick read of this. Travel back with David Tennant, Billy Piper and host Stefan Powell through a host of Whoniversal history. As Season 2 comes to a climax, a special edition of Doctor Who Unleashed is set to air on BBC 3, BBC iPlayer and BBC Wales. Stefan Powell is once again set to make his journey. He's joining Stefan for the ride of the show's most recognisable faces, including David Tennant, Jodie Whittaker, Billy Piper, Pearl Mackie, yes, Bill, best companion, Mandip Gill, showrunner Stephen Moffat, Chris Chibnall, Ncuti Gatwa, Varada Sethu, obviously Russell T Davies as well. That's kind of mad, and that's pretty cool. There's a whole host of things coming soon. Why are we getting so much news drop on this live stream? Like, it's quite cool. It's quite fun. Have we... Right. Trying to catch up with the chat. Scrolling all the way down. Here we are. I think that Mrs. Flood could be Madame Kavarian. They appear in similar ways. They're like a similar sort of plot twist kind of feature. Like, who is this woman that keeps cropping up? But what would Madame Kavarian still want with the Doctor? I don't know. It's not impossible, but I think it's probably unlikely. Flood equals friends loving only original Doctors. That's the only anagram we can come up with. Thank you, Black Phoenix 77. Arc Trooper Brick says RTD must be watching. It's the only way. Hello, Russell. I hope you're enjoying this live stream. I hope it's absolutely marvellous. Joe Black says, I think Mrs. Flood is Susan Foreman and the Doctor's granddaughter. Yeah, Susan Foreman. I don't think she's Susan, but I think we will see Susan. I think by the time Russell, here's my thing. I don't think Russell will leave the show without showing us Susan. I don't know whether she's gonna crop up in season 2 or a future season, but I think Susan's got to come back because of the emphasis on, like, last season we had Susan mentioned in The Devil's Chord, then in the finale she was a big thing. The Doctor says to Ruby, like, you talk to me in a... No, what does he say? He's like, you helped me talk about family in a way that I never did before. So that, like, yeah, like, all of this is setting up him going back to see Susan. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. It turns out that the one who waits is in fact someone in the live stream who keeps saying they've been waiting. I'm trying to get to everyone's comments. I can't read everything. Thank you very much, Matty, for another super chat. Very generous of you. I really appreciate it. Matty says, her name is Mrs. Flood. God flooded the earth for Noah's Ark. Who is the son of God? Jesus. Jesus is the unholy trinity. The Doctor versus Jesus. The Doctor versus Jesus would be utterly bizarre. I don't think so. I mean, who's to say, right? I've always thought a cool Doctor Who episode. Jesus and the Doctor, they're very similar. Like, man dies, comes back to life with a new face. Do with that what you will, BBC. Be a cool Doctor Who episode. And as well, Joy, his companion, is literally the star of Bethlehem. Like, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. It'd probably be incredibly controversial, but it'd be cool. Jesus, but played by Keanu Reeves. Oh, this live chat has descended. We've got another super chat here from CRUX. Is it CRUX or Crux or Crew X? Please let me know. If I've missed it, I'm sorry. I've asked this multiple times. Thank you very much, though, for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it. And sorry that I can't read. Finally, the Doctor faces God himself. I mean, the Doctor's faced the devil in the Satan pit, so who knows? It's Crux. Okay, good. I'll remember that in future. Crux. Thank you very much, Crux. The Doctor's faced the devil, and the devil's part of the Pantheon as well. Cosmic says Mrs. Flood is Palpatine's wife. Sure, why not? Disney Star Wars, Disney Doctor Who, combine them together. No. Though, what franchise, I suppose it's Star Trek, the franchise that would merge with Doctor Who the best, if there had to be one. I don't think they should, but I'm just saying, if they had to. Somehow Palpatine returned. That's the worst line, literally the worst line in cinema history. It's just, come on. Somehow Palpatine returned? Like, really? Really? Oh, Tom Haynes says Nerd Den is better than you. Damn. Fair enough. I love Nerd Den's great, to be fair. Shout out to Jack. He's a lovely guy. He's in Doctor Who Echoes Destiny, our fan film, if you want to go and check that out. I'm so tired, but this is quite fun. Maybe she is the monster from Midnight. Look, the synopsis, right, talked about Midnight. It's in my video from today. Who knows? Who knows? Could the Midnight Entity be coming back again? I mean, they already came back once this season. They did escape, though. They set up the Midnight Entity escaping into the world somewhere. It's over, Doctor. The goblins have the high ground, says Harry Palmtree. Oh dear. The Amy Way says, I'm still going with her being a regeneration of Benny's fiancée, Vilma. Yeah, you know what? I reckon it's true. After the events of Orphan 55, Benny was vengeful. Vilma was vengeful. And they were like, we're going to track down the Doctor and destroy. Has anyone got... This chat has just gone mad. Well, I'll read a couple more Instagrams. Let's find a serious theory. Someone's serious... Lord God Almighty suggests she's River's identical twin, Brenda. Why would River's twin be called Brenda? But you know what? I'm here for it. I suppose you've got Flood, River, Song, like anagrams. Not anagrams. What are they? What would you call it? Like River, Song, Melody, Pond. What is that? Because it's not an anagram. I can't think there's a word. What if she's Neris? Maybe she's Neris. What is going on? Synonym. How did Melody Pond get a twin? It's a great question. How did Melody Pond get a twin? Perhaps we'll never know. She's the harbinger to the Doctor. That's cool. She's the harbinger to the Doctor, who is themselves a god. Yeah. I mean, we talked earlier about her potentially being a sentient, self-aware harbinger. Something along those lines could be quite cool. I think it's unlikely that she's the Doctor's harbinger, though. But then I suppose if you're going to reveal the Doctor to be a god, or to be part of this pantheon, why not? Web of Spider suggests she is the personification of a Time Lord's death, or the death of time and space. So that's kind of like the Watcher from Classic Who. Yeah, I'd love to see the Watcher come back, on a slightly unrelated note. I think, yeah, she could be like an evolved Watcher form. I was actually, when writing the Echo series, it's not a spoiler because I didn't go down this route, but at one point I was considering making the Echo Doctor like a sort of evolved form of Watcher from Legopolis, like a Doctor that's created kind of a future incarnation. But I didn't write that, so there's no spoilers for what we've got. But no, it was such a side tangent. But the Watcher should come back to Doctor Who. I know that's not what this comment actually said, but I'm just saying, should happen. Crux says, I'm not overlooking her don't make me laugh comments from the proms. 100%. Like, yeah, there's no coincidence there. For those of you who don't know, at the Doctor Who proms last summer, Mrs. Flood, Anita Dobson, made an appearance live on stage, completely shattering the fourth wall, technically, addressing the audience, and she says, no, don't make me laugh. Which, where have we heard that recently? I was about to say Stooky Bill, not Stooky Bill, the other creepy thing, Mr. Ringading. So yeah, a hint to the gods. Do they all have to have the laugh? Because Sutek didn't have the laugh. The gods are a bit inconsistent, to be honest, but they're quite fun. What else have we got going on? Has anyone else got any burning theories? Stooky Bill, perhaps. Right, other... There's so many theories here. A lot of people are suggesting the same thing. We've got Hecuba again. We've got the Rani again. We've addressed the Rani theory. Meddling Monk, we've addressed the Meddling Monk. Are there any other burning theories? Someone in the live chat remind me. Are there any others that we've missed? We've got a very generous super chat here from Shadow J3DIK Knight, or DI Knight. Shadow J3DKI Knight, whatever your name is. Thank you very much. Really appreciate the super chat. The live chat always tries to run away. As soon as I try reading one, it's just like flying up. Oh, Jedi Knight! Ah, Shadow Jedi Knight. The 3 is an E. I'm smart. Thank you, Shadow Jedi Knight. I'm losing the plot. Thank you, Shadow Jedi Knight, for the super chat. There we go. We got there in the end. They say, what if Mrs. Flood is a character or a link to the Fugitive Doctor, or something like they were best friends before, like the Master Mate? That is really cool. I hadn't even thought about that. We literally had the Fugitive Doctor crop up in the last episode. So if Mrs. Flood, similar to like Swarm and Azure from Flux, is a villain or a best friend to the Doctor that they faced in the life they can't remember, that could explain, 1, how Jo Martin perhaps comes back for an adventure, and 2, how Mrs. Flood seems to know the Doctor quite well. And going, yeah, I like it. I really like it. Yeah, people are suggesting, like Kevin Jones says she's Tecteun. Could be something along those lines. Why is someone kicking off at me in the comments? How dare he? Look, I'm sorry, mate. I've given you your chances. No second chances. I'm that sort of a man. I'm gonna. There we go. That should have solved the problem. But Anna suggests the unholy trinity is the Doctor, Mrs. Flood, and Susan. Have they all turned evil? Maybe. Evil Susan. I mean, that was a theory going around about Mrs. Flood. Master Sea Turtle says, Order Clara and Older Clara. I suppose, well, there was a weird theme of Mrs. Flood sort of wearing past companions' clothing. Like, there's that jumper from the Empire of Death that very much resembles Clara's. And someone as well said one of her... what do you call it, like a gilet, her body warmer outfit looked a little bit like Rory. So perhaps there's something to do with old companions going on here. Jimmy Rigg, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Jimmy Rigg. Jimmy says, OMG, Mrs. Flood pointed at a sign on Dr. Drive to name the Doctor. Oh, God, imagine. Also, buy a spoon with this for spoon theory. Yes. Okay, I'll get a specially dedicated spoon. Are we gonna find out tomorrow? I mean, that's the thing. The spoon theory, is that all gonna come out? For those of you who don't know, we'll quickly catch you up on the spoon theory. Right. Every single god in this era of Doctor Who has either been brought to life or defeated via spoon. Why is there always a spoon? Maestro first appears in a spoon. Okay. Sutek is defeated by a spoon. Lux is brought to life by a spoon. why are there all spoons? It's a good point. It's a good point. And if Mrs. Flood named the Doctor by Dr. Drive, you know what? At this point, why not? Anything could happen. Anything could happen. The Doctor spoons Mrs. Flood. That is an image I did not need, but thank you for gracing us with that. Sylvester McCoy's Doctor played the spoons. Yeah, I mean, that's true as well. If you think about it, even the gods of Ragnarok were technically defeated via spoons. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Thank you very much, Jeremy Duncan, for the generous super chat. Jeremy says, Mrs. Flood says in the proms, what is the truth? Conrad says, I deny your reality. What if the finale is a commentary on those who try to control facts? I think you've cracked it. Yeah. Like, I hadn't even thought about her comments from the proms. I'm glad people keep bringing them up because I might... Well, I was going to say I might explore that in a video, but we're probably going to find out who Mrs. Flood is tomorrow. But I suppose it might reveal more about her plan. But yeah, what is the truth? Because I reckon Russell probably wrote that extract for Mrs. Flood for the proms, so he was probably doing a little bit of teasing with all of these things that are quite specific. Do you know what I mean? Like her saying, don't make me laugh, and what is the truth? Yeah, and I think 100%, I mean, the finale's called The Reality War. Like, it's got to be, as Jeremy has suggested here, some form of commentary on those who try to control facts. Conrad's whole, I deny your reality. He's 100% getting whatever his reality is by the time the finale rolls around. The Amy Way says, everyone asks, who is Mrs. Flood? No one asks, how is Mrs. Flood? Yeah, can we get a campaign started to mental health check Mrs. Flood? Is she okay? Fingers crossed. Shout out to Mrs. Flood. She could be some kind of evil manifestation of the TARDIS, says Perplexed to the Confused. Nice name. Yes and no. I very much thought this last season, but no. Maybe she just needs a hug. Hashtag I stand with Mrs. Flood. No, what was I saying? That's completely thrown my what was going on? What did I just read? I just read a comment and I was midway through talking about it, then I got distracted. I can't find it. Perhaps we'll never know. Joseph Walker says perhaps Mrs. Flood is tied into Sunshine Sally. Thank you. Yeah, of course you can. Shout out to Joseph Walker. Perhaps. Yeah, I mean, she was wearing a very similar dress to Sunshine Sally in the episode Lux, so I definitely think there's a tie there, especially with the don't make me laugh comment. Like, I don't quite know how it ties together, but I think there's something there. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we look at it, then there's something that we've missed that's going to be there somewhere. Yeah, can we... Thank you, Sablord, and everyone in the chat. Justice for Mrs. Flood. We need justice for Mrs. Flood. We've got another super chat from Thanos. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. Yeah, thank you. It's very generous. Clara was first introduced as a governess and a storyteller in the 7th series premiere when she was first introduced. Yeah, I suppose. I suppose that adds to the former companions sort of theory. And as well, she's the neighbour of our current companions. She's neighbour to both Ruby and Belinda. So there is something weird with Mrs. Flood and companions going on. I don't quite know how, why, or what. But yeah, it would be quite cool, I suppose, if she's deliberately mocking the Doctor or trying to get close to the Doctor by sort of cosplaying the companions in a way. Something like that could be quite cool. And also, yeah, it'd just be cool to see Clara return to the show. Shadow Jedi Knight, thank you very much once again for another super chat. Really appreciate it. Shadow Jedi Knight says, plus, if you remember in the story in the engine, the 15th Doctor is trying to remember Abina, but the only memory that the Doctor have with Abina was the fugitive Doctor, so maybe... Yeah, I mean, that does tie in very much to the whole Mrs. Flood being a fugitive Doctor companion kind of thing. I mean, we've had Carvanista. Let's get Carvanista back in the show. That would be quite fun. Yeah. I can see it happening now, especially because Russell's doubling down on this Time as Child idea. Shooty has said there's going to be like Mrs. Flood. No, there's going to be Gallifreyan lore explanations. I don't know why I'm sort of like bobbing around, but yeah, I could see it happening. It would be quite cool. Jurassic Steve, thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Jurassic Steve says Mrs. Flood is the god of destiny, getting everyone in place from Belle to Conrad to the Doctor. Yeah, I don't know what initially when I read Belle, I thought you meant Belle from Flux, but Belinda in place. Yeah, I could see it. I think she's got to be some form of god or harbinger or something of that world. She knows too much. The breaking the fourth wall, there's so many little signs and clues that she is more than just another Time Lord. But I don't know. I really like the theory as well that someone suggested earlier of her being sort of a creator of these gods, allowing these gods to exist. It's very cool. But yeah, Mrs. Flood, god of destiny, could be quite cool. If she's just pushing people into the place, similar to like all these ideas of her being the Watcher, I could see it. I could see it. We've got a very generous donation from James Harmon. Thank you very much, James Harmon. Really appreciate the super chat. James says, my crazy theory. The Doctor is in therapy. The entire 15th Doctor is in the subconscious as the Doctor works things out. Mrs. Flood is the avatar for the therapist. That's cool. I've never heard that one before, and it's rare that I haven't heard a Mrs. Flood theory, but that, I like it. I like it, James. I suppose, yeah, because it kind of ties as well, in a way, into the Mrs. Flood being the Valiard. Like, if she's almost an amalgamation of the darker sides of the Doctor's nature, or she's trying, as James suggests here, to sort of, like, wake the Doctor up. Like, or, I don't know, wake up, that's probably the wrong, like, that's the dream idea, but in therapy, yeah, I could see it, I could see it. I'm starting to waffle, but I get it, I like it, I'm trying to piece it together in my head live. You're watching me, like, live react. But no, it's cool, it's a nice idea. Pretty neat. What else have we got going on? Liam says the unholy trinity, a fork, a knife, and a spoon. Sure, why not? That's the best trinity in the world. When is Cherry Sunday going to reveal her true identity? I know, we're all waiting. Come on, Cherry. What's going on? Will she get her cup of tea? Is Cherry the one who waits? She's been waiting for that tea, like, 2 seasons now. Maybe. What do you eat a Cherry Sunday with? A spoon. It's all clicking into place. It's all clicking into place. Right, I'm going to quickly scan through the Instagram replies, see if there's any other new theories. If anyone's got, we're going to start to wrap up now. If anyone has any burning Mrs. Flood theories that I've missed, put them in chat right now. Super chat them and I'll definitely see them, but you don't have to. Try and I'll hopefully see them. We'll quickly scan through here. So, Brune says, Timeless Child era. Yeah, we covered that. She's Russell T Davies. I think we can probably dismiss that one. She's probably not Russell T Davies. Gods of Ragnarok, we've discussed. Ryland's Next Regeneration, we've discussed. River Song, we've kind of discussed in a way. I don't think she's River Song. Mrs. Flood is a Doctor Who fan who somehow got transported to the Whoniverse. Yeah, if they're fourth wall breaking, all of that. The Unholy Trinity is the Masters. Yeah, I don't think that's probably not where we're going. Slovene, we've discussed. Black and White Guardian, we've discussed. Sisterhood of Khan, we've discussed. Anagrams, we've discussed. Omega, we've discussed. Shooty's Doctor will realise their whole life's been a TV show, we've discussed. We've got another super chat. Thank you so much, Shadow Jedi Knight. I really appreciate all of these. What if Missy comes back? Because if we see Jo Martin at the premiere of Doctor Who Season 15, that means Michelle Gomez is going to come back too. Yeah, so this is a very fair point. At the Doctor Who Season 2 premiere, Jo Martin went, Michelle Gomez went, and everyone was going, oh my god, this means they're going to come back. But then everybody also went, no, they're just going to watch because they're just fans, well not fans, but like alumni of the show. But if Jo Martin was in it, who's to say Missy's not going to be in it? Well, Michelle Gomez isn't going to be in it. It's set up as well with the Golden Tooth. Like the Missy has literally been name dropped. So I could see it happening. Instagram, right, Missy. There's about 4 people in a row suggesting Missy. Anagram, Rassilon, we've discussed. Mrs. Flood scores a winning goal in the football, so Doctor Who is broadcast live. That would be quite funny, because obviously there's this ongoing battle between, I think it was BBC and ITV. BBC wanted the football to start like 5 or 6 hours earlier. ITV were like, no, we want more adverts in our thing. So they were trying to push it later. And I think they settled somewhere in the middle. So there's a complete 50-50 chance tomorrow that the Interstellar Song Contest will not be broadcast on BBC One, which is mad. Like, if Doctor Who doesn't get broadcast on BBC One tomorrow, I think that's the first time in its history there will be an episode go out that was not broadcast on BBC One. They'll definitely have to broadcast it somewhere. But yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope the episode gets to actually happen. Right, she's Rassilon. Oh, here's an interesting theory I've never heard before. Actually, Aaron suggests my girlfriend's theory is that Mrs. Flood is the Wire from season 2. It's out there. I haven't heard that. Why not? That's a fun idea. She's the Wire, all grown up, got physical form. Be quite cool. Bit random, but quite cool. She's Russell T Davies. Why have like 5 people have sent in she's Russell T Davies? What? I suppose the showrunner idea, the breaking the fourth wall idea, could be something along those lines. People in the chat, hungry. What else have we got? The Doctor's mother, yeah, we've covered that one. Valiard, we've covered. Jimmy Doctor says flood, rain, sea devil. Hashtag Jimmy for sea devil. Yeah, it must be. Mrs. Flood is a sea devil. I suppose it would tie into the spin-off at least. What else have we got? Posted a regeneration theory on my page. I can't check that out. Sorry, I'm looking at a screenshot right now. Mrs. Flood is Ruby's mum's mum. So Mrs. Flood is Ruby's grandma. Bit of a rogue theory. I don't quite know how it would tie in. And it would literally be doing what Russell said he hated from the, what's it called? Star Wars Episode 9. What's it called? Someone in the chat, remind me. Star Wars Episode 9. What is it? The Last Jedi is Episode 8, then The Rise of Skywalker. It would be doing what The Rise of Skywalker did, which Russell said he was against. It would be making, yeah, her important, not because she's important within herself, but because of her family lineage, which, yeah, no. I don't think this is going to happen. Cybus Industries employee says, I reckon Conrad wishes that the Doctor loses all his power and thus he becomes part of a TV show. Russell being credited as writer, he could be in the episode playing the writer. Yeah, I think it's a cool theory. And there is stuff going on. There's so many fourth wall breaks and stuff. Someone nearly just booted a football at my window. That was you could probably hear it outside. I don't think it's intentional. No, they're strolling, a family strolling up the road. Sorry, distraction. Well, I can't remember what I was saying. I need to start paying more attention. We've got a super chat here. Thank you very much for the super chat. Rob Deltoni, I think that's your name. Thank you very much, Rob. Really appreciate it. Rob says, piggybacking on my own Instagram theory, if Mrs. Flood is a crazed Whovian who somehow entered the Whoniverse, maybe she's trying to bend Doctor Who to her will as a meta-commentary on certain fans. That would be sick. I can't lie. I mean, there were a couple of theories similar to it for the Toymaker in the 60th anniversary, and that's why David Tennant's face came back. People were theorising that. It would be cool. The only thing it would do, though, is give so much cannon fodder to all the people that are like, Russell hates fans. Because, but then I think there's a way to, like, joke about fans. Because Russell is a fan at the end of the day. And, like, Doctor Who fans, we're a strange bunch. Like, we're Doctor Who fans. Like, I think it's got to be done tastefully, but it would be cool. It would be cool to explore that. It would be cool. Right, so thank you everybody for watching. Any final theories? I feel like I'm doing a bid. Going once, going twice. Get them in. We'll do a really quick blast of reading a couple of them, and then I will be bringing this live stream to a close. And the next you will see of me, we will in fact know who Mrs. Flood is. By this time tomorrow, we'll know. Make sure you're subscribed, notification bell on, all of that jazz, so that you see my reaction. I might film my reaction to the Interstellar Song Contest and put clips of it on the thing and then put more of it on Patreon, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I've got enough storage space to actually do that, but I'll try and record something tomorrow because I think it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big episode. Let's quickly read. Rowan says the Doctor's last regeneration. That'd be quite cool. Vanguard type thing. She's gone back in time. Mrs. Flood is a future regeneration of confused Adipose. Sure, why not? Mrs. Flood is the Doctor's daughter, Jenny. No. In a press release video today by Russell, he says we should watch the episode so we don't get the reveal of the winner of the Interstellar Song Contest sport. So maybe her race is important. Maybe she is the... Imagine she... Well, Anita Jobson can sing. Perhaps Mrs. Flood is going to perform at the Interstellar Song Contest. Maybe. We've got a £2 super chat here from Jurassic Steve. Thank you very much, Jurassic Steve. Mrs. Flood is an ex-companion of a future Doctor. That would be quite cool. If Russell's really planned ahead and she's gone back in time after falling out with the Doctor to try and stop her from meeting or cause some drama, that would be quite cool. Thank you very much, Jurassic Steve. Tom Haynes says, can I just say I'm sorry? You can. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tom Haynes. Jake Pierce says, I do want Jenny to return someday. Her Big Finish run screams perfect for TV adaptation. I haven't heard it. I really need to listen to more Big Finish. I really want... the one I loved when I heard it first was Spare Parts. I know that's like a very generic thing to say, but it's so good. It's, yeah, Cybermen are written perfectly in that. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Sorry that I haven't been able to see everybody's theories, but I really, I appreciate all of you. And everyone who super chatted as well, incredibly generous. The donations really help me out a lot. It helps me to keep this channel going and to just exist. We have got one final super chat here. Thank you very much from Shadow Jedi Knight. Once again, very, very generous. Thank you, Shadow Jedi Knight. They say, what if there's more Time Lords going to come up in the series finale? Like, maybe some returning Time Lords or some new character Time Lords. Perhaps. There's definitely more Time Lords on the way. There's mark my words. Whether they're Time Lords that have been adapted in some way, whether they're space babies, more Time Lords are on the way in this season finale. The Doctor would not be emphasising he's the last of his kind this much if we weren't getting something along those lines. But thank you very much for watching. You're now going to watch me collapse my setup as I try and actually end the live stream that's happening from my phone over here. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow in the Interstellar Song Contest review, and then the podcast in a couple of days. If you want to share your thoughts on it, head over to my Instagram page, confused_adipose. I'll be asking for your opinions on one of my stories. Feel free to drop them there, or comment on this video, comment wherever. I really appreciate it. Let's try and end this smoothly, which is never happens, but thank you very much for watching. I can't end it. No, I can. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. Ta-ra.